What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Passive Income with ATM's Facebook group. I hope you guys are having a great day. Now, the live is starting barely, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and give it some time for more people to tune in. In the meantime, guys, for everyone watching live, go ahead and comment live right now. And for everyone watching the replay, guys, comment replay as well. Go ahead and comment real quick, guys, before we go ahead and get more people in the live, just to go ahead and help out with the algorithm, guys. So I do appreciate when you guys do comment and interact with me. It just helps out with people, reaching out to our live and joining in. Give me 1 second, everybody, and we'll go ahead and get started with our live training. Tonight's going to be a pretty quick one for everyone watching and everyone just now tuning in. Go ahead and comment live right now, LIVE. I appreciate when you guys comment that. We're going to give it probably 30 more seconds so more people can go ahead and tune in, and then we'll go ahead and jump into our live training. Now, for those of you guys watching, you guys are in for a treat. We're going to pretty much talk about how the ATM business can ultimately get you to financial freedom and how the ATM business can be a vehicle to help you to get to financial freedom and ultimately help you get you to other business ventures. For example, if you want to not only start the ATM business, but your dream business or your dream, whatever it may be, is, doing this or doing that or having this, having that, the ATM business is going to help get you there by just investing in yourself and ultimately generating passive income. So with that being said, guys, welcome to everyone that's watching the live. I appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Go ahead and comment down below also where you guys are watching from. Even if you're watching the replay, guys, don't worry. I'm reading the comments. So if you guys comment while you're watching the replay, that is perfectly fine. I'll go ahead and talk back to you guys, as you guys will notice. But everyone watching, go ahead and comment what city, what state you guys are watching from. And let's go ahead and jump into the live training, guys. So welcome, everybody. My name is Juan Geronimo. This is Passive Income with ATM's Facebook group, guys. And in this group, I'm pretty much copying and pasting everything that I've done in my journey and my experience in the ATM business and teaching you guys how to do the exact same thing step by step. So thank you guys for everyone that's tuned in. And let's go ahead and jump into the live training, guys. Now, number one, guys, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about how you can make the ATM business a vehicle to get you to financial freedom. A lot of people think that the ATM business is a get-rich-quick scheme, or the ATM business just doesn't work at all. And both of those are incorrect. And here's why, guys. Whenever you start the ATM business, just like you start any other business, it is a slow process, guys. If you're trying to jump into a get-rich-quick scheme, this is not the business for you. The ATM business is a business that you are going to pretty much start off as a side hustle unless you're someone with a lot of capital in your bank, ready to throw in, a couple $1,000s, 5 figures in the business. Then you're probably going to start off a little quick. But if you're someone that, has less than $10,000 or less than $20,000 and you want to go ahead and get started with your ATM business, then you're more than likely going to have to start the business off slow. By slow, I mean with your first ATM. Whenever I started my business, guys, I started with my first ATM generating me about $250 a month. Now, to a lot of you guys, that ain't nothing, right? $250, I mean, it ain't nothing, but at the same time, it's $250 that I didn't have to work for. My ATM was on location working those $250 a month for me. So ultimately, it's passive income. And like I said, guys, this business is not a get-rich-quick scheme, so don't think that you're going to buy your first ATM and you're going to start generating $5,000, $10,000 a month. You're not, right? With this business, it starts off a little slow, and as you grow, as you scale your business, that's when your income is also going to grow. Like I said, guys, my first ATM was generating me about $250 a month, and by the end of my first year in the business, I ended up with like 5 or 6 ATMs, and I was making about $4,000 to $5,000 a month just from my 5 to 6 ATMs. And that's because I actually landed a gold mine. So I was able to land a gold mine early on in my career. Now, a lot of you guys may also ask, what's a gold mine, Juan? Well, guys, a gold mine is pretty much a location that does above average when it comes to transactions. And above average is usually over 150 to 300 transactions a month. That I would consider a gold mine. That I would consider a high above average location. Now, like I said, guys, the reason why I got to where I got in my first year was because I happened to land a gold mine, which was a cash-only restaurant doing about I want to say like 500 plus transactions, and that's how I was actually able to scale my first year to over $4,000 to $5,000 a month in passive income. Now, I didn't start off making $4,000 to $5,000 a year right off the jump, guys. It started off with me slowly investing in myself, investing in my business, buying one ATM. After that one ATM's on location, making me some passive income. I then invested and saved up for more ATMs, and then bought my third one, then bought my fourth one. And by the end of the year, I had like 5 or 6 locations, right? 5 or 6 ATMs. So it's a slow process, guys, but at the end of the day, it's another stream of income that you can add to your portfolio, to your life, and use it to cover certain bills, certain liabilities that you have in your life. For example, when I started this business, my main goal was to expand as much as I can to get to financial freedom. Why? Because the ATM business is a great business to get started with and get to financial freedom. At the end of the day, guys, being financially free doesn't mean that you have to make millions of dollars. It doesn't mean that you need to be making, $100,000 or $10,000 a month. Being financially free simply means that your cost of living is getting taken care of by your assets. You buy an asset, you place it on location, and that asset is going to generate income enough to cover your cost of living. So if you got your mortgage, your light bills, your gas bills, your water bills, your car note, phone bill, if you got all these bills and you got like, let's say 15, 10 ATMs on location, making you like, $6,000 to $10,000 a month, and your cost of living is $7,000, $8,000 a month, which is about, the average, right? Then you're set. That is being financially free, right? Now, if you got a lavish lifestyle and you're out there buying all the Gucci, all the Louis, you're buying your dream car, you're buying your watch. If you're out there just spending money recklessly on materialistic things, then more than likely you're going to need a higher income, right? But like I said, guys, being financially free does not mean you have to be rich. It just simply means that your cost of living is getting covered by your liabilities. I was able to get to financial freedom about 2.5 years in the business. And the reason why I was actually able to get there so soon was because I was able to land a couple gold mines in my portfolio. I actually have about 4 or 5 gold mines in my portfolio, generating me over $500 a month in passive income, just ATMs alone, right? Each ATM, right? So that's how I was able to get to financial freedom a lot quicker. Now, when I started, I didn't go into this business thinking I was going to get to financial freedom quick. I didn't go into this business thinking I was going to start making thousands of dollars in the first month or the second month, even the first year, guys. I didn't come into this business thinking I was going to make thousands of dollars a month. I didn't. Because that's just not how it worked, guys. This business is just like the vending machine business. It's just like any other business that requires an asset on location or an asset producing you cash flow, right? So that's the mentality I went in there. A lot of people think that the ATM business is just gonna print them thousands of dollars a month. No, guys, that's not how it works. It takes time to get there. So with that being said, guys, building the vehicle to financial freedom. Whenever I started this business, I started off, like I said, at a slow path, right? My goal was to start making money, start making my money, make me money, and then using that cash flow, using that profit, and rolling it over to another asset, whether it's real estate, rentals, whatever the case may be, right? In this case, if a lot of you guys don't already know, I actually rent out a Tesla Model 3 on Turo. Now, I actually stopped doing that as of recently, and that's just because I got really busy when it came to my ATM portfolio and all of my students. I currently have about 45 students in my mentorship program that I help hand in hand learn about the ATM business. So that's the reason why I stopped. But my ATM business, believe it or not, allowed me to get my 2022 Tesla Model 3, put it on Turo, and then that Tesla started to pay for itself. Now, instead of buying my dream car, which in this case would be my Tesla, instead of buying it out of pocket, it actually was an asset for me, and it was paying for itself. I bought the car, I put the down payment and everything with my ATM profits, and then once I put the car on Turo, the car started to pay for itself. And I had my car on Turo probably for a little bit under a year before I had to turn off my account for a bit, and that's just because I got too busy. But that is what I mean by creating a vehicle to financial freedom, creating a vehicle to then help you invest into more assets, guys. That's exactly what I mean. If it wasn't for my ATM business, I wouldn't have had my 2022 Tesla on Turo and investing into more assets. That wouldn't have been possible, right? Because at the end of the day, I would have had to trade my time for money on a constant basis. But since I started off with a small investment like the ATM business, which in this case would cost you less than $10,000 to get started with your first ATM, then, you know, after a while, after investing in my business, investing in myself and scaling it, I could then start making enough profit to then start taking a little bit of my profits and rolling it over to another investment, guys. So that's pretty much how I was able to create my vehicle to financial freedom. And now I currently have 3 companies. And believe it or not, my ATM business was my first company. Now I have 3 companies currently generating me income. And it all started with my ATM business, guys. So you have to start somewhere first, right? One thing I would recommend you guys not to do is focus on so many different businesses, so many different opportunities. Whenever I started my business, one of the things that actually held me back, one of the things that slowed me down overall was getting too excited and trying to invest into different businesses. At the time, I was looking into vending machines, I was looking into ATMs, I was looking into drop shipping, I was looking into Turo. There were so many different businesses that I was like, dang, I can start all of them if I wanted to. But guys, one thing I recommend, and I'm sure you guys hear this a lot, is focus on one first. Focus on growing your income with one business, and then focus on the next one, the next, and the next, right? Build one up first, and then focus on the next one. When you guys focus on 3 or 4 different businesses at the same time, you're just going to move at a steady pace because you're too busy focusing on so many different businesses that you're not actually growing, right? You're just moving at a steady pace. So if you focus on one, you make sure that you build all the systems, you put everything in place, and then that business starts to make you passive income. That business starts to generate you income. You can move on to the next and build that one, then to the next and build that one. And then slowly but surely, you are going to have 1 to 3 businesses currently making you income without you having to put too much work in. So one thing I recommend you guys off the jump, and focus on one business and make sure you build that business up and then roll over to another one. But that's how I was pretty much able to invest into 3 of my companies, and it all started by starting off slow, working my way up. So for a lot of you guys that want to get started with the ATM business, as you guys know, it does cost you about $6,000 to $9,000 to get started with this business. And the reason why it costs you $6,000 to $9,000 is because, number one, guys, you as a beginner, as a starter entrepreneur in this business, you have to be able to form a company. You have to get other expenses out of the way, like business cards, website building, contract agreements, Volt Cash, ATM purchases, and all kinds of other things, especially if you invest into mentorships, which is something I 100% recommend you guys to do if you want to start efficiently and as soon as possible. So you're going to have a bunch of expenses that you got to take care of as a beginner, right? That's why it usually costs you about $6,000 to $9,000 to get started with your first ATM. Now, the great thing about this business, guys, is that you can get started with this business with less than $10,000, which a lot of you guys, a lot of people that have been working for a long time should have about $10,000 in the bank just sitting there making you no money, right? So if you're looking to get started with a business that requires an asset, that has an asset on location generating you passive income, highly recommend you guys to, take a look at this business, see if this is a business that works best for you, because trust me, this is an amazing business and I 100% recommend anyone to give it a shot. But to get back into the ATM business, in order to get started with this business, you need $6,000 to $9,000. Once you scale to that second ATM, it is going to cost you a lot less. And the reason why is because you don't have to buy your business cards anymore. You don't have to form your company again. Once you form your company, you use that company for however long you want to keep that company open, right? Years if you want, right? So you don't have to worry about opening up another company. You don't have to worry about paying an attorney for another agreement. You don't have to worry about buying brochures and getting your website built again. You don't have to worry about any of those expenses. And that's the reason why after you build after you establish your first ATM, in the second one, all you need is about $5,000 to take care of your next ATM, right? And then it's about $5,000 for every ATM after that. $2,700 for your ATM and internet box, and about $1,000 to $3,000 for the cash that you put inside of your ATM. That's the reason why it's a lot lower than your initial investment. The reason why, guys, like I said, you don't need all the other expenses that you first initially make whenever you start your business. And I mean, for everyone that was wondering, the price $6,000 to $9,000 to get started. Now, how do you start the ATM business? A lot of you guys also may ask. For those of you guys that have not took advantage of section here in the group, I got a free mini course in the guide section. So all you guys have to do is go over to the guide section in Passive Income with ATM's Facebook group. Go to the guide section, and in the guide section, I have a free mini course where I pretty much give you the steps, the 4 pillars on how to get started with your ATM business, which I'll go over right now. I also got live trainings that I've had in the past, so where I talk about credit, prospecting locations, how to cold call, all the good things about ATMs and how to start your ATM business are all in my previous live training. So if you'd like to go on over there and go ahead and start reading some of the comments, paying attention to the content, go ahead and do that after this live, of course. But if you guys haven't took advantage of that, go ahead and take advantage of that as soon as possible, guys, because trust me, you are going to get tons of value just from the guide section alone inside of this group. Now, for everyone that has not received an ATM business strategy guide, go ahead and comment guide down below. That's GUIDE. Go ahead and comment guide down below, and me or a team member will go ahead and send that guide over to you as soon as possible. Make sure that you comment guide in order for you to receive our 2023 ATM business guide. If you guys don't comment, you're not going to take advantage of the free guide. The free guide is also going to walk you through pretty much A through Z on the ATM business. What's required, what you need to get started, how you can get started, and the cost and everything else that comes with starting this business. So if you guys would like a free guide, either me or Bernard will go ahead and send you a guide after this live or during this live, guys. Now, let's go ahead and get into the step-by-step on how to get started with the ATM business. A lot of you guys already probably know the 4 pillars on starting the business, which is only four simple steps, guys, to get started with this business. Number 1, just like any other business, guys, you have to form your company. You have to be able to form your company with your state. Now, how you can form a company is either your state website. You go to your, I believe it like the city council. Don't quote me on that one, but you go to your state website, your city council. You can actually obtain an LLC or open up an LLC. You can go with an accountant, tax professional, an attorney, someone that can help you open up a company or set up your LLC. Now, I would recommend you guys, if it's not hard. It's not hard to start your LLC. So I would recommend you guys to go on InkFile, go on LegalZoom, and do it on your own. The reason why I recommend you guys to do that is because on LegalZoom or inkfile.com, you can obtain your LLC, open one up with your state, not for free, but you don't have to worry about fees. With InkFile and LegalZoom, all you have to worry about is paying the state fee, which you have to pay no matter what, right? But you don't have to pay someone to help you create one. If you go with an accountant, if you go with an attorney, if you go anywhere else, you have to pay for the service fee for them helping you out to set up your LLC. So I would recommend you guys to go either through your state website, go through InkFile or LegalZoom, and open up your LLC on your own. It is very simple, guys. It's literally you filling in all of your information, business name, your name, social security number, your address, the type of business that you're opening up. And then once you submit that application, it'll go to the state. They're going to go ahead and look over your records, make sure everything's good, and then approve your company, approve your LLC. You're then going to receive everything in the mail. And once you receive everything in the mail for your LLC, you're now ready to go ahead and get your EIN number, which is your employer identification number for your business. It's in other words, a social security number, right? Your EIN, it's an employer identification number. This is the number that you're going to use whenever you apply for credit cards, when you set up your business bank account, when you file taxes. This is going to be the number, just like your social that represents you, that's going to represent your business. Now, your EIN, guys, here's a golden nugget for everyone watching. Some of you guys may know this by following me and following in here in my group. But some of you guys may not know this. Your EIN you can actually obtain for free in the IRS website. That's irs.gov, not .com, not .co, .gov. Go to the IRS website and go ahead and apply for your EIN. When you apply for your EIN, guys, you are going to be able to get your EIN for free. Now, InkFile, LegalZoom, and whoever else you apply for your LLC under, they may charge you for your EIN. They may give you the option to pay for your EIN, but decline that at all times, guys. Because like I said, you can obtain your EIN for free in the IRS website. All you have to do is go to irs.gov, apply for your EIN. Once you apply for your EIN, guys, your EIN you should be able to get within the next couple seconds, guys. The great thing about the IRS website is that once you apply for your EIN, you're actually going to be able to download that PDF with your EIN information right to your phone or to your computer. Whenever I actually started one of my companies, I forgot my EIN. I went to the bank, I tried to set up an account. Hey, they were like, hey, do you got your EIN? I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot to apply for my EIN. So I literally pulled out my phone, applied for my EIN right there, downloaded my EIN PDF right there, and then all I had to do was email it to my banker. She printed it out, and I was good to go. So I was able to get it literally within the next couple minutes. So highly recommend you guys to go to the IRS website because you can get it for free in the IRS website. Other companies, they're going to charge you guys. So go through IRS and you're going to get it for free. Now, after you set up your company, which is your LLC and your EIN, you're ready for your business bank account, which is one of the most important steps in the business, the bank account. Without the bank account, your ATM cannot go on location and start generating you passive income. That's because whenever we set you up with processing and everything else, we need an account to deposit all of your profits and your vault cash that the ATM has inside, right? So you do need a business bank account to open up your bank account. No, to start your ATM business. Sorry. Now, like I said in the past, and a lot of you guys also may know this, you cannot go with the three big banks, which is Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo. A lot of people are always asking, why can't I work with these three big banks? The reason you cannot work with these three big banks, guys, is because Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo have already made a set requirement that they do not work with the ATM business. And the reason why is because not only is the ATM business considered a high-risk business, but the ATM business, guys, it's not necessarily competition to them, but they don't want people to go to their bank and withdraw high amounts of cash, right? Because how do banks make money? They make money from cash, from having cash in the accounts. So if you have $30,000 sitting in your account and you're constantly withdrawing those $30,000, guess what they can't do? They can't make money on your account. They can't loan those $30,000 to all their clients. Why? Because you're constantly withdrawing that money. So that's why these three big banks do not work with the ATM business, or at least one of the main reasons why they don't bank with the ATM business. You have to go work with smaller banks, credit unions. These smaller entities are going to be able to work with you because they're smaller banks. They do not, although they do make their money just as well as Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo by lending your money, they are a little bit more lenient because they're a smaller bank. So highly recommend you guys to go to like small banks like Comerica's, PNC, City Banks, go to credit unions all over the nation. You should be able to open up an account with the credit union. There's a lot of them that do work with you, and there's a lot of them that are starting to catch up and be like, hey, we don't work with the ATM business anymore. And that's just because a lot of newcomers come into these banks and they try to open up accounts and they don't got their proper information. So a lot of banks are thinking that all these people trying to open up bank accounts for the ATM business are trying to do it because either they're trying to launder money or other, things that are illegal. So whenever you're opening up a business bank account for your ATM business, you always want to make sure that you call the bank before you walk in, because one, you don't want to waste your time, and two, you don't want to walk in there, not have something in hand that you need, and then that makes you look unprofessional. And that's actually one of the reasons why a lot of banks don't want to work with the ATM business, because a lot of people think that you could just walk in the business and open up an account, which is not the case, guys. You have to make sure that you have all the proper documentation in hand in order to open up that bank. And that proper documentation is your LLC, your EIN, and believe it or not, guys, some banks ask you for a location agreement or a processing agreement. So with that being said, you got to make sure that you have a couple leads ready to go. And sometimes before even opening up your business bank account, you want to set up processing first and find a location, because believe it or not, some banks require those things, and if they require those things, you cannot open up an account unless you have them. So sometimes instead of opening up a business bank account, you want to swap the roles. You want to swap step 2 and step 3, which is opening up a business bank account and setting up your processing company, right? Sometimes you want to swap them depending on the bank that you're working with and the current situation that you're in. If you do have to swap them, then you will need to find a processing company first. Reason why you want to find a processing company first is because your bank probably requires a processing agreement showing that you're a legitimate ATM business besides just having an LLC, right? So want to find a processing company, and when it comes to finding processing companies, you want to make sure that you find a company that helps you not only process your ATM transactions for free, but doesn't put you under contract, and also gives you unlimited processing, meaning you're able to scale your business to however many ATMs you can fulfill, and they're not going to change up the agreement on you. They're going to continue to give you free processing. That's what you want to look for. Once you find a processing company, guys, that's when you're ready to go open up that business bank account. Now, if your bank also requires you to have a location, then you would have to go find a location first. All you need, guys, is literally a contract agreement, literally a piece of paper, an enforceable agreement, not just any piece of paper. You want to have an enforceable agreement between you and the business owner stating that you guys are doing business together, that you are going to place your ATM in their location, that you are going to be paying them this, showing the address, showing the business signature, all that good stuff. That way the bank can see that you're running a legitimate ATM business and you're not just trying to open up a bank account saying that you're in the business and you're really not, because a lot of people do that. And again, guys, the ATM business is vulnerable to money laundering, and that's the reason why banks are afraid of this business. So a lot of banks, believe it or not, are starting to get a little bit tight when it comes to certain things you need to open up an account, and an agreement, a location agreement, a processing agreement, and what else? Yeah, those two things. And then again, your LLC and your EIN, right? So they always require that just to make sure that they're on the safe side working with a legitimate business. So like I said, guys, sometimes you may just need to swap those steps, which is not a big deal. Find the processing, find a location, and then you go back to the bank and you're like, hey, I got everything you need. Let's go ahead and set up my account. And then I promise you guys, they'll be more than happy to help you out with your account. One thing I recommend you guys, and here's another golden nugget. I hope all of you guys have a pen and paper. If not, don't worry. This live is recorded, so we'll be posted back in the group. But pay attention here, guys. Here's a little golden nugget that not a lot of people teach you guys for free. Not a lot of people jump on live and give you all of these golden nuggets for free, right? So here's another golden nugget when it comes to the bank. Whenever you open up a business bank account, like I said earlier, how do banks make money? Do any of you guys here right now paid attention to what I said earlier and can answer this question? How do banks make money? Go ahead and comment down below. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys like 10 seconds. Go ahead and comment down below. How do banks make money? Go ahead and comment down below if you guys know the answer. For the person that knows the answer, I got a little guide for you, a little funding guide with some credit tips that I'm going to send to you for free if I get the first comment, even if you're watching the replay. How do banks make money? Go ahead and comment down below. I'm going to go ahead and count in my head 10 seconds real quick. Loans and interest on it. Yeah, that is definitely how they make their money, which you're very close, Chris, and I got you with that guide. But how banks make money? Number one, they loan the money to all kinds of customers, right? Whenever someone wants to go ahead, exactly, Toledo, exactly. They pretty much get people that want to buy a house, that want to buy a car, that want to apply for a loan. And guess what? That money in your account, they loan it to everyone that is a client. And that's how they make money. Of course, like Chris says, off interest. That's how they make their money. So for everyone that interacted, for everyone that commented, I got you with a free funding guide. And I also got you with a, well, Chris in this case and Toledo, you guys are already my clients, but I got you with a hookup. But for everyone commenting, appreciate it, guys. I'm going to hook you guys up with some free guides and some free resources. But yes, guys, banks make money. So whenever you're going to the bank, here is a golden nugget. In order for you to establish a healthy relationship, in order for you guys to set a great relationship up with the bank, you should, and this is a recommendation for me and from, I'm sure, a lot of ATM business owners out there, they've learned this throughout their experience. One recommendation that I give you guys is open up a savings account. The reason why you need a savings account when you're starting your ATM business It's not because you want to save money. Obviously not, right? As an entrepreneur, you want to invest. And that's exactly what I do. I'm investing as much as I can with my business. But the reason why you want to have a savings account is because that's going to let the bank know that you're willing to save some money. You're willing to have money in an account. Now you can throw in 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 1,000 bucks, however your financial situation is. You can go ahead and deposit money on a weekly basis there. Now, not only is it going to benefit you by saving money, helping yourself save money, and then later on down the line, whether it's a rainy day or whether you got another investment and you need some capital, guess what? You have a savings account. But what that is going to show the bank is that you're saving money. Therefore, they are going to be like, hell yeah, Chris Toledo, he has a savings account. We are going to make money off of his savings account because we are going to be able to loan it. Because a savings account, I mean, generally they're used to save, right? So over the course of that savings account, you're going to have money inside of that account, right? And you're going to continue to have that money in that account because you're always going to try to save your money, right? So you're going to have money in there. So the bank is going to automatically know that they are going to be able to use that money to lend out. And to them, that is going to be a good sign, a good trade with you. Now, if you go into a bank and you're just like, hey, I want to open up 2 checkings account for my surcharge and for my Volt Cash. Some banks, believe it or not, they're going to be like, we don't work with that. We don't work with the ATM business. And the reason being is because they already know that you're only opening up 2 checkings account, which is going to be 2 accounts that you're going to be moving money in and out. Right? So to them, that doesn't benefit them. To them, they get the short end of the stick when you go in there and do that. So one thing that I recommend, a golden nugget, is go to the bank, set up 2 checkings account, one for your surcharge and one for your Volt Cash, but also set up a savings account. The reason why you're going to do the savings account, guys, is just like I said, you're going to let the bank know that you're going to have money in a savings account. Therefore, they're going to be like, okay, boom, that's a good sign for us. We're going to make money off a savings account, right? Now, like I said, guys, the savings account is just there to be like to hold that relationship tight, right? To hold your account, right? Just to show that you're not only getting the 2 checkings, but you're in a sense working with the bank, right? And that's how they're going to see it. So that's the tip of the day for you guys. Open up a savings account. It's going to help you out in the long run, and it's going to go a long way. Trust me, guys. I've done this myself, and I got even my mentors, even my business partners do the exact same thing. And that's just because, like I said, it helps the bank realize that you're not just trying to open up 2 checkings. You're actually going to put money in there, and for them, that's an incentive because they're going to make money off your money. So open up a savings account, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that golden nugget. Now, step number 4, which in this case, guys, location. After you set up your company, you go with processing or the bank, or you swap them. And number 4 is going to be location. Now, when it comes to the ATM business, guys, location is key. How many of you guys right now know the best locations for the ATM business? Go ahead and comment them down below. What locations right now do you guys think that are better for the ATM business? Go ahead and comment down below. And for those of you guys that are commenting down below, I'll go ahead and let you guys know on my opinions with them, and then you can carry that opinion and that tip for your current portfolio, as well as I'll actually name the top 3 locations that I currently have that are making me over $500 a month in passive income. Go ahead and comment down below right now for those locations that you guys think are great, and I'll go ahead and let you guys know what I think about them. And I'll give you guys my top 3 locations. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 30 seconds. I want everybody right now watching the live to go ahead and comment right now what type of locations you think is best for the ATM business. And I'll see you guys in 30 seconds. All right, I got Jonathan. Barbershops. Barbershops, believe it or not, guys, are probably the best location for beginners. And here's the reason why. Barbershops are locations that do not require a lot of cash, right? the average haircut's probably like $40, right? $40, 40, $50, $30, depending on your area, depending on your location, depending on the barber, right? But hardly do you go into a barber shop and spend over $100 unless you're getting a whole facial and everything else, waxes and all that. But hardly do you spend over $100, right? Therefore, barbershops are one of the best locations for beginners, especially if they're a cash only barbershop. They have high traffic, and by high traffic, I mean they got a lot of barbers inside of that location. I just recently installed an ATM inside of a barbershop with like 18 barbers, and so far this ATM is doing great, doing like 5+ transactions a day. And this location right here, guys, I just installed it like 2 weeks ago, and so far it's doing good, right? At the end of the day, when you install an ATM, you always want to leave it on location and let it nurture, right? But after that, guys, once the clients start to see that there's an ATM, you're off to the races, guys. Barbershops are probably by far the best locations for beginners. Now, let's go to my next location, which I have Steve. He just commented dispensaries. Dispensaries, guys, there's some ups and there's some pros and cons when it comes to dispensaries, right? The pros, of course, there's a dispensary. It's a cash only business, and it's a high traffic location. I yet to have a dispensary, and I do want one. So for anyone that has a dispensary nearby with no ATM in there, and you're watching right now, I am willing to invest into that dispensary, put an ATM in that location, and work with you as a partner, because I don't have a dispensary yet. So if anyone has any dispensaries in your area and you do not have the capital to get started with the ATM business completely on your own, I will be willing to partner up with you if you have a dispensary nearby. But dispensaries, like I said, guys, there's pros and there's cons. Pros, the dispensaries, guys, they're gonna do a lot of traffic. Right now, I have one of my mentors says that he has a dispensary doing like 4,000 transactions a month. Now, just imagine, guys, you're charging a minimum of $3 per transaction. $3 per transaction, and your ATM's doing 4,000 transactions a month, the dispensary. That is $12,000 a month that ATM is generating. Now, $4,000 transactions, that's a lot. I don't know if they do that much, because like I said, I yet to have one myself, but I've heard that they do crazy numbers. So dispensaries, that is the pro, that it does a lot of numbers, it does high numbers, and it makes you a lot of profit. Now here's the cons. Dispensaries typically require a lot of cash, because just like they do a lot of transactions, they dispense a lot of cash. Therefore, on a monthly basis, this dispensary is probably dispensing $250,000. Now, that doesn't mean you're filling it up with $250,000. That means that you have to constantly refill that ATM with $5,000, $10,000 on a weekly basis, if not more. $20,000, $30,000 a week. That's how much money these dispensaries make. So they do require a lot of money, and that would be the only con. This is the location that I wouldn't recommend you to target if you are a beginner. The reason being is because as a beginner, not only are you trying to get a hold of the ATM business, you're trying to understand the business, but as a beginner, you probably don't have that much money sitting in your account for you to throw into an ATM with $10,000 or $20,000, $30,000, right? So you always want to make sure that you work with what you can fulfill, right? You don't want to buy more than what you can chew in the ATM business. Now, cash-only businesses, of course, cash-only businesses are great. I got a ton of cash-only businesses. The reason being is because my ATM dispenses cash. A lot of people that walk in with card, if they don't have cash, they just use my ATM, and that's free. That's literally your ATM printing money for you. What requirements do you look for when scouting barbershops? I always make sure that I look into high traffic, a lot of barbers, meaning like 4 or 5 barbers inside of that location. Anything above that is phenomenal, but always look in the area that it's at. They could easily have 4 or 5 barbers inside of that shop, but each barber gets 1 haircut a day because it's in a slow area, right? So one thing I always look into is the area that it's in and how many barbers are inside. If you get a barber shop with like 1 or 2 barbers, 3 barbers, more than likely that's going to be a slow location, especially if they're not cash only. If they're cash only and they have 5 barbers and it's in a great area, jump into that location as soon as you can, because that is going to be a great location. Now, Let's see. I got another one. What do I got another location? Okay, so that's everyone that commented location so far. Now, my top 3 locations right now for my personal ATM business, a cash only restaurant. One of my cash only restaurants right now, and I have multiple. One of my cash only restaurants right now is making me over $1,000 a month, just one ATM. Cash only high traffic restaurant. My second location right now is going to be a barber shop. Like I said, guys, so far this barber shop that I have with 18 barbers is projected to make me over $700 to $800 a month so far on a monthly basis. My third location right now, guys, I currently have a bazaar. A lot of you guys may know or may not know what a bazaar is. A bazaar is pretty much it's a mall. It's kind of a mall. It's a big old shopping like center with a bunch of little businesses inside it. And pretty much people just walk around. There's jewelry businesses. There's clothing, massage, you know, footwear, all kinds of businesses inside of that bazaar. I currently have a bazaar, and that currently bazaar is making me over $500 a month. So those are my top 3 businesses that I have, and I currently have over 20 ATMs all over Texas making me passive income, right? But those right now would be my top 3 locations when it comes to my portfolio. Cash only restaurant, a barber shop, and a bazaar, which is pretty much a shopping center. The great thing about shopping centers, the great thing about strip malls, bazaars, malls, is that there's a bunch of businesses in that area. So not only are you just going to be targeting one business for and one clientele for that business, there's going to be tons of businesses in there, and all their clientele will be near your ATM. Therefore, if this business has 5 people a day that will need an ATM, and this business has 3, and this business has 4, and the next has so on and so forth, you could just imagine how your ATM is going to perform, right? So highly recommend you guys to look into bazaars, malls, strip malls, any location that has a bunch of businesses in it, right? Now, I got some questions or some statements here. I put $40,000 at a time in dispensaries for 2 machines. Yeah, so Steve, I mean, they require a lot of cash, and I mean, you guys can see it right here. Like I said, I don't have dispensaries, and I usually don't talk on things that I haven't yet experienced. But as you guys can see right here, Steve says that he puts $40,000 at a time in 2 different machines. So there you guys go. You guys can see it for yourself. Dispensaries do require a lot of cash. Therefore, that is not the ideal location for a beginner, right? The ideal location for a beginner, you always want to target a location like a barber shop, a nail salon, a convenience store. What other locations can I name? Corner stores, gas stations. Those are typically the locations that you want to target as a beginner. How much volt cash do you think you need for a week at a dispensary? I mean, Steve Polk just said it right here, $40,000 at a time. Usually that is on a weekly basis. What do you think about cash only with only 3 barbers? What were the minimum you would charge on a surcharge fee, or what would you not even attempt to place an ATM in there? Sorry, I'm reading it all jacked up, and that's because my monitor is a little further from me and I'm blind. But what do I think of a cash only barbershop with 3 barbers? That I would take care of. I would take advantage of that location, and here's why. In order for your ATM to give you a return on investment in 9 months, literally less than a year, it needs to make you $300 a month. The ATM right here that you're looking at behind me is a Hilo Halo 2. And Jonathan, you got what, 3 or 4 of them? This ATM right here costs $2,700 with the ATM and internet. In order for you to make your return on investment in just 9 months, you need $300 a month from this ATM in passive income, right? So $300 a month, that is only what is it? Hold on, let me do my math real quick correctly. 100 transactions a month. 100 transactions a month. Now divide the 100 transactions a month divided by 30 days. 100 divided by 30 is what? 3 transactions a day. All you need is 3 transactions a day. So now, Jonathan, let's say those 3 barbers, not only are they cash only, but let's say that just those 3 barbers cut one haircut, one head a day that needs to use your ATM, that is going to be enough for that ATM to pay itself off in 9 months. Now, just imagine those 3 barbers cut like 5 to 10 people a day. And out of those 5 to 10 people a day times 3, that's 15 to 30 people a day that visit that barber shop. Now, just imagine 15 to 30 people a day and at least 5 to 10 people use your ATM. You're pretty much going to generate about $900 a month if your ATM does those numbers with that location. So a cash only barbershop, it's great. Even if there's 3 barbers, I would highly consider it just because the location is a cash only business. Just moved to a new city and I got a haircut at a barbershop that's cash only with no ATM. Plus they have a vape smoke shop right next door. Boom, brother. You're literally golden right there at that location. Highly recommend you to jump on that, because if you don't, somebody else will. As you guys heard me preach about in the past, my partner, my consultant Bernard, he talks about analysis paralysis, guys. Analysis paralysis is one of the biggest factors when it comes to delaying your process as an entrepreneur and ultimately falling behind, because you're too busy thinking about it that later on you're going to take a week, you're going to take a month, and guess what? Someone else in your shoes is probably taking advantage of that situation right away, and now you're at a loss. So that's a great location, especially with a smoke shop next door. Boom, I would highly recommend you to jump on that as soon as possible, Jonathan. All right, guys, let's jump into a Q&A. We got a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and jump into a Q&A for anyone that has any questions. I know we already got the questions rolling in, so thank you to everyone that's commenting all of your questions. But let's go ahead and jump into a Q&A real quick. Excuse me. Anyone that has any questions, now is the time to go ahead and comment any of your questions. Let me know what kind of questions you guys have, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 30 seconds. Everyone that's in here right now, go ahead and comment Q&A. Comment Q&A even if you don't have any questions, guys. I appreciate when you guys comment. But for everyone that does have a question, go ahead and comment your questions, and I'll see you guys in 30 seconds. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and jump into our Q&A. Let me go ahead and see. Anyone have any questions? Any questions, guys? Like I said, guys, comment Q&A even if you don't have any questions, and I'll go ahead and go over some of the most common questions that I get in the ATM business. Number one, while you guys rack up some questions in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the questions that I usually get in my DMs a lot. One of them being, how much does an ATM make? Now, like I said earlier, guys, the average ATM, at least for me, makes me about 100 transactions a month. I always require my ATMs to generate me a minimum of 80 to 100 transactions a month. If I have an ATM generating me 80 to 100 transactions a month and I'm charging $3.50 per transaction, that ATM is going to make me about $300 to $350 a month in passive income. Now, of course, if you're doing a surcharge split with a business owner, your minimum transactions should probably go up a little bit, right? But ideally, 80 to 100 transactions a month is the average, and that is usually what I shoot for. Now, I do have a couple locations where they do make me about 80 to 100 transactions a month, and I am charging $3.50, and I'm paying the business owner 50 cents. Now, even if I'm paying the business owner 50 cents, and let's say my ATM is doing 100 transactions a month, that ATM is still making me $300 a month in profit, because $3 that I take home times the 100 transactions, that's still $300. Now, let's say my ATM is making me 80 transactions and I'm making $3. I'm making $240 a month from that ATM. Like I said, guys, my first ATM was making me $250 a month. $250 a month. So, I mean, like I said in the beginning, this business is not a get rich quick scheme. This business is not going to make you rich overnight. It is not going to get you to financial freedom overnight unless you are a type of person that has thousands of dollars in your bank account and you're ready to invest into multiple ATMs at a time, then you may start making some serious money right away. But if you're someone that, is just starting in the business, you just want to start out with your first ATM, expect to make about 80 to 100 transactions a month per ATM. Unless you happen to land a gold mine, which I did in early on in my career, and I was able to start generating like 500 plus per month from just one ATM. And that was because I landed a gold mine. And that was actually my cash only restaurant that I currently have right now. And now it's making me $1,000 a month. So it went from making me $500 a month to $1,000 a month over the course of the 3 years that I've had this location. All right, let me go ahead and think about another question. Let me see. Let me look through my DMs, matter of fact, because I got a lot of questions here. Let me see. So one question that I see right here in my DMs is, how much is an ATM? This ATM right here, and this is probably the best ATM that you're looking at to get started with the ATM business, the Hyosung Halo 2. This ATM right now is probably, in my opinion, the most modern looking ATM for its price. There's, of course, ATMs with touchscreens like these buttons. These are buttons, but there's ATMs that have these buttons where it's touchscreen, but that ATM's probably a couple $100 more, right? This ATM is probably the most modern for its price, and this price for this ATM is $2,700 after tax for the ATM and internet box, and that's my price. That is wholesale price. That's after taxes out the door. There's a lot of companies out there that charge you a lot more, charge you all kinds of hidden fees, but ideally you're looking to spend about $2,700 for this ATM plus internet. Now, I get a lot of questions on my DMs also that say, hey, you're selling your ATM for $2,700, but I'm looking online and it's saying $2,400, $2,500. What's the deal here? I'm like, go to that website, create your account, and go ahead and check out with that ATM. See how that price is going to go up after tax. They're just showing you the price of the machine. They're not charging you taxes yet. They're not charging you all these fees, that convenience fees, hidden fees that they charge you. I got a student, he's a current student now, but he wasn't a student at the time when he reached out to me through DMs, and he was like, hey, Juan, after I spoke with you, you told me that you can give me an ATM for $2,700. But I'm looking at this ATM for $2,300 or $400, and I'm like, okay, go ahead and check out. He goes ahead and he starts checking out, and the price goes from $2,000, like I think it was like $400 to $3,100 after tax, after shipping, after fees. And then he's like, oh shoot, Juan, you were right. Never mind, let me get it with you. Now he has like 4 ATMs with me, right? So this is what here goes to show, guys, that you guys have to make sure you do your due diligence and don't just jump into conclusion. A lot of people think that, oh, $2,700, that's a lot. Guys, we are actually giving you a phenomenal price on ATMs for $2,700 out the door. I'm talking after taxes and everything. So, and this again, guys, is a price for all of my clients, all of my students, Jonathan, Chris, Angel in the chat, everyone that's here in the chat. These guys are some of my clients, and you guys can go ahead and ask them for your guys' for yourself. See the price that they pay for their ATMs. They get wholesale prices on their ATMs. Now, when it comes to my clients, guys, when it comes to my students, we don't make money off of our students on ATM sales, because at the end of the day, guys, we care about our relationship with all of our clients. We aren't here to chase nickel and dimes, and this is something that I recommend everyone watching right now. If you're negotiating a deal with a business owner and instead of 50 cents, they want 75 cents, guys, don't lose a potential location over 25 cents, and don't try to nickel and dime, chase nickel and dime, because over the course of your journey, you're going to start to see that chasing nickel and dimes, guys, is going to hurt you in the long run. So that's something we don't do here, guys. For all of our clients, we give you wholesale pricing, and that's another golden nugget that I just gave you. If you're trying to get a location for 50 cents and they want 75 cents, don't lose a potential location over being greedy for 25 cents, guys. You're still profiting $3, $2.75 at the end of the day. So, which is still phenomenal. All right, let me go and look at my DMs. I don't see any more questions here on my Facebook. Let me look at my DMs, see if I can pick up a couple other questions. I get so many DMs, guys, so I gotta see who's asking questions. Okay, I got a question here. It says how I got started. I got started in this ATM business three and a half years ago. A little bit before, a little bit before January of 2020. And the reason why was because I was working in the oil fields. I know a lot of you guys know my story, but some of you guys may not. I used to work in the oil fields of West Texas. I used to go out there for 10 days and then I would just come home for 4 and then repeat the process. And I was doing that for about a year. Now, that became a lifestyle for me, right? I wasn't seeing my family anymore. I was only seeing them for like 3 days and a half. And I was just going back home, back to work. I used to call it home because technically I was living out there for 10 days and I was only visiting home for 4 days, right? So technically I was living out there. And I was doing that for about a year. So it almost started to become a lifestyle of like being away from my family, working long overtime hours. I mean, my longest day of work was like 21 hours in one day. I know that sounds unbelievable. I know that sounds unrealistic, but out there in the oil fields, guys, they do not care about you. They do not care about your sleep, your rest, none of that. So I actually worked 21 hours straight one day. And this was on a repeated, constant basis. I was working 16 hours, 14 hours, 17 hours, 18 hours. I remember, guys, I went to work. And those 10 days, guys, those 10 days that I was out there, I worked 12 plus hours every day. 12 plus, 12, 14, 13, 17, 18, 20. I was working multiple hours. Guys, my checks, of course, they were fat checks. I was making money out there. But trust me, guys, you start to lose your sanity out there. You start to go crazy just because there's no rest out there. I literally almost lost my life because I was falling asleep behind the wheel. That's whenever I snapped. That's when I was like, man, this is not sustainable. I can't do this for the rest of my life. So I started to look into different business ventures. I was always a serial entrepreneur. I always had that entrepreneur mindset. And I actually started my auto detailing business before I went out there. But I started to realize that in the auto detailing business, you can't work in the rainy days. You can't work in the winter because nobody wants a car wash. No one goes out in the winter. I'm in Texas, so the weather out here is crazy. It's raining every other week. The weather's crazy, right? So auto detailing, although it was great working for myself, although it was great money, during the rainy days, it would just set me back, right? It would just set me back. And over the course of my journey, I ended up making the same thing that I was making at a regular job, right? And that's after, of course, if I had to hire someone, after buying materials, after all my expenses. So I was just like, you know what? Let me go to the oil fields. Let me go to the oil fields, save up a bunch of money, come back, try to look into other business ventures, and then start that. I was looking into the vending machines. And then from looking into the vending machines, I looked into, I was on YouTube because I used to watch YouTube a lot on business. And I came across the video on the ATMs. And literally, guys, that literally got me interested in the ATM business because there was a guy filling up his ATM machine saying that he was only filling it up with like $1,000 to $2,000, and these $1,000 to $2,000 were making him like $100 a week, and he was making like freaking $400 or $500 a month, however much he was making, right? Depending, because every month varies. Not every month is the same. So I was like, wow, this asset, you literally fill it up with cash. You don't have to worry about merchandise. You don't have to worry about chips, drinks, chocolate, none of that. And then hope for it to sell and not expire, right? So I was like, that's crazy. I was like, let me go ahead and look into the ATMs. So then I started looking into the ATM business. I started to realize that it costs less than $10,000 to get started with your first ATM. And I was like, F it. Let me go ahead and start. I started. Like I said, my first ATM made me $250 a month. Trust me, guys, whenever I was seeing that money hit my account every day, those $2, $3, $4 every day, it felt great. And then once I saw my account balance at the end of the month, $250 plus, I was like, dang, this feels great. Just sitting back, making money, right? So I was like, just imagine this at scale. I started working harder. I started saving more money, and I started to invest into more ATMs. Literally, guys, my first year I ended with 5 or 6 ATMs, making me like $5,000 a month, $4,000 to $5,000 a month, somewhere around there. So I was like, dang, just imagine this times that. Second year I ended with like 12 ATMs. I'm currently over a little bit over 3 years now. And I currently have over 20 ATMs, now making 5 figures a month in passive income from my ATM portfolio. And it all started with just one ATM making me $250 a month. So that's how I started with my ATM business, guys, and ultimately how it helped me get to financial freedom. Right now, guys, I bought my dream watch last year, which was a Rolex. It cost me 5 figures, and my ATMs paid for that. I bought my dream car, which was in this case 2022 Tesla Model 3. My ATMs paid for that. My phone bill, my camera, anything that I want, guys, my ATMs pay for it. So this is what I mean by financial freedom, and by you not necessarily having to be rich, make millions to be financially free. As long as your assets are covering your life of your cost of living, you're financially free. And that's how I got started with my ATM business. All right, guys, we pretty much hit the hour, which is, I always try to make my lives last less than an hour, because I know a lot of you guys don't have the whole time, the whole afternoon, because you got work, you got family. So I do appreciate everybody that tuned into this live, guys. Thank you guys so much for everyone that comments, everyone that joins my lives, everyone that interacts with me, guys. It helps out with the algorithm. It helps out with my group. So you guys don't know how grateful I am for you guys to tune into my lives and just interact with me, guys. I enjoy giving you guys all this free information. I enjoy helping you guys out. So for everyone that's interested in the ATM business, guys, like I said, I have free guides. Comment guide down below, and I'll go ahead and send you a free ATM business guide. Go ahead and go over to my guide section. There's a mini course. There's all my other live trainings that I've had in the past, my student success stories, motivational posts. There's a bunch of information in this group alone that will help you start your ATM business. But thank you guys so much for everyone that tuned in. Before you guys go, I know I got some people in here. I know I got some students in here, but I also got some more people watching. So for everyone that's watching, I currently have a mentorship program called the ATM Plug. My mentorship program pretty much teaches you how to start your ATM business from scratch. Now, for everyone watching right now, with my mentorship program, I teach you how to start your ATM business from scratch and ultimately help you land a location within less than 90 days. Here's how I do it. With my mentorship program, I provide you an online step-by-step course. With my online step-by-step course, I guide you from step-by-step on how to obtain your LLC, EIN, ATM, processing, land a location, fill up your ATM, change receipt paper. Literally, guys, I teach you the whole 9 yards with my course alone. I also provide you with a clients only Facebook group. In this group, I'm going to pretty much contact you and every other one of my students and walk you guys through anything that you need, sales training, anything that I can help you out with. That's what our clients only group is for. And that's where I'm going to also walk you guys through when it comes to different offers, new updates on the industry, new videos in the course, whatever the case may be. My clients will always be notified, and that's how I keep everybody in the loop. Now, after the clients only group and the course only, you get one brand new ATM included. This is the Hios and Halo 2, and this is the exact ATM that you get included with my mentorship program. This ATM right here is a Hios and Halo 2. You get 2-year warranty from the manufacturer, and it is 100% brand new and 100% yours. You do get it included with my mentorship program, as well as the internet box for this ATM. You also will get that included with the program. Now, the internet box, guys, the only thing you have to pay for is $6.99 for the monthly fee. So for everyone watching, you do have to pay for internet. Unfortunately, that's one of the expenses that come with the business. But $6.99, guys, that's a drop in a bucket compared to what your ATM is going to make, right? Excuse me. After the ATM and internet box, I'm also going to provide you free unlimited processing. Now, a lot of you guys watching right here, one of the main things that I tell you guys to look for when it comes to the ATMs is free ATM processing. I am going to provide you exactly that. We are not going to tie you up under a contract. We are not going to charge you fees per transaction. And we are going to allow you to scale your business to 100 machines if you want, right? That is our free processing, and you automatically get access to that once you enroll with our program. Besides the processing, I'm also going to provide you ATM programming training, and I am pretty much going to walk you through step by step how to program this ATM right here. This is the ATM that I'm going to teach you how to program. That way you don't have to pay out of pocket a technician to program your ATM for you. A lot of programs out there, a lot of mentors, a lot of companies, that's what they do, guys. They'll charge you fees to get your ATM pre-programmed so they don't have to jump on the phone with you or even deal with you. Because as a beginner, trust me, you have to be patient when it comes to teaching a beginner how to program their ATM. So therefore, we actually jump on a call with you and walk you through step by step and are very patient with you when it comes to teaching you how to program your own ATM. With that being said, guys, after that, you also will get a location agreement. It is unlimited technically because once you get it with my program, you get to use it for the remainder of your journey, the remainder of your career in the ATM business. And the location agreement is pretty much the contract between you and the business owner. I paid $1,200 for my contract agreement, guys, and I am going to provide that for you as long as you're enrolled with my mentorship program. So now you don't have to go out of your way, find an attorney, and on top of that, pay a fee for them to draft up a contract agreement for you. Besides the contract agreement, guys, I'm also going to provide you free unlimited mentorship, meaning you are going to literally be my mentee. You're going to have my cell phone number, my email, my processor's email phone number, our current partners. Literally, guys, once you excuse me, once you enroll with my program, you automatically get connected with my network of connections. And by that, you are going to have all of our information and you are going to get unlimited mentorship from all of us. Therefore, although you get tech support from 9 to 5, 5 days a week, you also will receive mentorship from my network of connections. We're going to be there for you even after hours. So besides the mentorship, guys, I'm also going to provide you free unlimited location finder service. This is right now our bread and butter for our program. Pretty much our unlimited location finder service, guys, is, give me 1 second. I'm over here sweating. Our unlimited location finder service, guys, is pretty much going to be our system that we've created, our partner DeLeon created when it comes to helping you find locations. Now, this system right here is going to allow you to scale your ATM business without having to pay high cost per location. Now, a lot of you guys may already know this and some of you guys may not. But when it comes to finding locations for your ATM business, going through a location finder service, they're going to charge you an average of $600 to $1,000 per location they find you. With us, it's different. We don't charge you per location. Instead, we charge you a small 10% fee of every transaction that your ATM does. And that, in a sense, gives us an invested interest in finding you great locations, because if you make money, we make money. If you win, we win. That's how we have it set up. Now, for everyone watching, if you want to fulfill 10 ATMs, guess what? You don't have to worry about paying $10,000 in location finder service fees. With us, you're able to fulfill 10 locations, pay $0 out of your pocket for every location we find you, but instead have your ATM pay for itself, and that's a small 10% fee of every ATM transaction that your ATM does. So, for example, if we find you a location making you $500 a month, all you're really paying the location service is $50 a month, right? So your ATM is in a sense paying for itself. So that's our unlimited location finder service. Right now, this system has been working phenomenal for me and my students. I currently have 1 ATM landed per week using the system. Our founder actually landed close to 80 locations in a matter of 3 to 4 years just using this system that he built from the ground up. And the rest of our students are currently using this system. For example, Robin, if you guys go over to my Instagram in my story, he just landed his 3rd location, and our location finder service found that location for him. And as well as Eric and a lot of our other students are also leveraging the system. I believe Angel Laura, which is in the comments right now, is leveraging the system. So for anyone interested in our unlimited location finder service and my elite package, which is what I just listed, the ATM, the cell box, the course, the clients only group, the mentorship, the location agreement, the ATM programming training, the unlimited location finder service, the what else? Over a dozen PDFs. All these PDFs are pretty much sales scripts, qualification questionnaires, brochures, all kinds of documents that you are going to use for your ATM business. You are going to get included with our unlimited location finder service elite package. If you're interested in this package, guys, go ahead and comment right now. Plug, that's PLUG for everyone watching. Like I said, even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment down below. If you guys are interested in my elite package, guys, I will go ahead and reach out to you guys and set up a 10 to 15 minute informational call. We also offer funding. So if you're someone that doesn't have all the funds available to get started with your ATM business, don't worry. I currently have a third-party funding that helps you leverage your personal credit and start our mentorship program and ultimately your ATM business with little to no money down. Now, our current funding program, they're called Easy Consultant out in Beverly Hills. And currently what we help you is with funding this whole program, funding your ATM business. All you need in order to fund and qualify for our funding is 620 minimum credit score, $35,000 in annual income, and 3 months of employment or 2-year tax return if you're self-employed. If you meet these requirements, you automatically qualify for our funding program. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and comment funding right now. Comment funding if you're interested in our funding program. We'll go ahead and see if you qualify by jumping on a quick call, having you fill out the application. And once you qualify, guys, you're off to the races. You're able to start your ATM business with zero to no money. Now, also, guys, like I said, if you're interested in our program, go ahead and comment plug. That's PLUG. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Like I said, guys, thank you guys for everyone that's tuned in. Thanks everyone that's interacted with me, commented down below. Every time, we jump on this live, I see everyone that always joins. I see everyone that always comments and interacts with me, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. And one of these days, guys, I will come out with a great offer, a great discount, and I'm going to let you guys know during the live training. So for everyone that joins the live training, make sure that you join every live training, because during the lives, every now and then I'll have special offers that I'm going to announce. And for everyone watching the live, only those people will be able to take advantage of the special offers. But with that being said, guys, it was a pleasure jumping on here, giving you guys tons of free information. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.